Hi everyone. So here we'll be looking at the 5 animal exercises that Cheng Man-Ching devised from his Tai-Chi form. These are like a very simplified version where I've missed out the footwork, which can be confusing for beginners. So this is kind of how I teach at the first class, and then at subsequent classes we'll add in like changing the steps and things like that. So our first animal is the monkey, which is the wood element. And for this I have my feet parallel, my knees slightly bent, my hips sunk as if I have something heavy tied to the back of my belt, and my head pushed upwards. I'm going to have one hand starting palm up and the other hand comes to about ear height. Notice my shoulder is relaxed, not raised or tense. And I switch. One hand pulls back to the dantian here, while the other hand presses out, expressing through the palm. Then I turn this hand over and raise and bring it forwards at the same time that this hand rises up. And then I switch. Notice I'm not shifting my balance between the legs, but just keeping my center centered between my feet. There is turning of the upper torso. There is a little bit of movement in the waist and a tiny amount of movement in the hips. I'm opening and probably inhaling here. I'm closing and exhaling there. This position here, I'm ended up with the elbow heavy. I don't want the elbow up because I want the shoulder relaxed. Notice that upon completion of the exhalation, when I start the inhalation, this hand rises, spiraling up. It's the end of the exhalation, opening, closing, high, her. So that is the monkey. The wood element. Wood gives birth to fire. For fire I'm going to take gong bu, front stance. So both legs are bent and I can shift my weight between one leg and the other comfortably. As I shift the weight into the front leg, my belly button faces the same direction as the front toes, directly forwards. As I shift into the back leg, my belly button is now facing the same direction as the back toes, which is off to 45 degrees. The front hand does glue, roll back, and then brushes past the knee. The back hand does more or less the same movement that it did in the monkey, which is to express through Lao Gong, the center of the palm there. Coming back, circling around there. So putting them together, rolling back, brush knee twist step. Notice there is roundness to the posture and everything is just comfortable and relaxed. My hands are always operating in the sphere of strength. I don't have strength over here. I wouldn't try to pick something heavy up here. I just move my body, right? And I don't have as much relaxation there either. So I want to be relaxed but strong. Able to have strength, but just relaxed. Rolling back, brush knee twist step. All of our postural checks in place, head pushing up, back of the neck open, shoulders soft and relaxed, chest sunk, so not here, back rounded. This is really important with the tiger. There's a feeling of continuity from here all the way round to that hand. So I'm rounding the back, creating space between the shoulder blades. My hips are sunk, so my lumbar is open. I don't have a big curve there as I would if I was sticking my bum out, but rather my hips are down. And of course you want to practice this on both sides. So this is the tiger, the fire element. Fire gives birth to earth, and for earth we have the bear. So again, I'm with my feet parallel, and this is the bear posture here. Notice that my elbows are further forward than my body. I don't want my elbows back. This is called broken bear. This is where I don't have any strength or structural integrity, but here I have both strength and structural integrity while being relatively relaxed. I drop the weight down into the left leg and turn the waist to the left. Then I shift the weight down into the right leg and turn the waist to the right. Notice that I'm not going further over than my foot. I'm dropping down, not sideways. There's compression here. The front of the hip, the quad is closed, the leg is compressed. It expands and pulls me across to the other leg and then compresses there. My knee doesn't collapse in, it stays pointing forwards. I'm inhaling here and exhaling there. Inhaling as I shift the weight, exhaling as I turn the waist. So from the earth is born metal. The metal element is the deer. So again, I'm going to be in Gongbu, this front stance that we use throughout our Tai Chi form. When I'm sat in the back leg, I'm going to be holding a ball. My left leg is forwards, my left hand is underneath. As I move into the front leg, I throw a frisbee over there. So this move in the form is called diagonal flying. Again, I don't let that knee collapse in. It stays pointing in the same direction as the toes, which is off at 45 degrees. This leg doesn't straighten. It stays bent. My hips are sunk throughout all of this. The legs are working. My hands stay in fair maiden's position with a straight wrist, gently curving fingers. It's strong and it allows freedom of movement, freedom of flow of the energy throughout the hand. It is different from maybe classical yang style, which would flex the wrist. We allow the wrist to relax. And of course we want to practice this on both sides. Okay, our final animal is the bird, which corresponds to the water element. And this is water, so kidneys, and the kidney meridian running down to the legs to bubbling spring point, kidney point number 1, Lao Gong. So here I'm just going to turn the supporting foot out at a comfortable angle and weight into it. I'm just going to put my hands over my dantian to get them out of the way. And the most low-key version of this exercise is I have my toes on the floor, and then I just switch to putting heel on the floor. Toes on the floor, I exhale and put the heel on the floor. Inhale, put the toes on the floor, of the front foot that is. I'm rooted in the back foot. If that's sufficiently easy for you, pick the knee up. As you exhale, push the foot out. And aim to put the sole of the foot facing forwards. If this is easy for you, add a little bit of difficulty by dropping the center of gravity down as you exhale and extend the foot. And you want to practice that on both sides, obviously. I'm going off at this angle. All our postural things in play as usual. And once you finish, you might want to take a few deep breaths, breathing in and breathing out. Invigorating, lengthening, rising up the back, softening, sinking, relaxing down the front. The back is yang, the front is yin. You soft, sink, relax, drop the center of gravity down. Rise up the back, sink down the front, keeping the tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Then place the hands over the dantian. Place your mind in your dantian and imagine a small ball at your center, not at the front of the body, but right in the middle. And just visualize that ball expanding as you inhale, contracting as you relax the belly. So my belly expands as I breathe in and relaxes back as I breathe out. And that's a very simple version of Cheng Man-Ching's 5 animal frolics.